Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Faith, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session for school, SKOOL, and this is the CPS school.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Join our school community for free to access weekly live Q&A sessions, or participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.
Good evening and welcome. It's New Year's Eve, and here I am for the second Christmas that I've been on continuously now since a year ago. I want to spend my Christmas Eve with all you special people. I'll give you a warm welcome. You've reached my podcast here, Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm Bob Pace, I'm your host, and I warmly welcome you to my family here. Many of you from all over, I've talked to everybody in the United States, including Washington, D.C. I've also talked to about 19 countries now around the world about CPS, such as Bangladesh, in India, the Middle East, there's several countries there. Africa, there's 5 countries. Europe, there's another 8 countries there. And of course, there's North America, there's 3 countries there. South America, there's 1. And then in the Pacific, I have Australia, New Zealand, and all you people have been very warm and welcome to me. You've all shared your stories. There are 5 ladies in South Africa that have been on my show a lot. And one of them, Lika, called at her dime, her expense. She's called twice now, area code 27. But she had a very unfortunate child. Her child was molested by a 30-year man in the province police. And the culture, it seems like they're in South Africa. She's on the western Cape of South Africa. Anyway, I warmly welcome you here. You come to the right place. Now, I know it's Christmas Eve and a lot of you last minute shopping and stuff, so I don't know if I'll see any of you here or not, but I told you all I'd be here and I'm not going to let you down. It's a hard thing every night, every day to come up here. I'm on here twice a day, 14 shows a week. I'm on here Monday through Sunday. I come on at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time here on the West Coast of California. And then again on at 7 p.m. on the West Coast of California. Now, they're 1 hour long podcasts, but they're interactive podcasts. And as you heard my attorney, Vincent Davis, he has a podcast he does regularly on Saturday at 9:30. So please join him. His little spiel will come up at the end of my podcast again. So if you didn't get the websites, one is for registering for the Saturday podcast, and the other one is to join the school. They have a school here, CPS School. It's very important that this, and I want to say hello to Luke Kiefer. Merry Christmas. Thank you for being here. Lou. I'm so glad to see you. Lou is from Pennsylvania, and he's one of my recent people that have joined, and I really appreciate his input and so forth on here. There'll be more of you join here. Now, as I said, my attorney gave a little spiel. He's been doing this, fighting CPS, for 39 years. He's a dependency family law attorney. He has with much experience in family law, juvenile law, and dependency law. And they all three go together. And that's the kind of attorney you want. You want an attorney. He's a pit bull of attorney, but he works very diligently. And he also is a trial attorney. And he's also done civil lawsuits. When the case is closed, you can sue them for, violating your civil rights or your constitution rights. You have constitution rights and civil rights. I had a social worker that committed perjury, and she lied when Mr. Davis was asking her questions, and she lied big time. But she was bad because she retaliated, and and showed my daughter, who was at 12 at the time in the system, how to divorce her parents, how to change her name completely, how to seal her birth certificate, get a new birth certificate, how she was able to put her foster parents on it. And then on top of that, she got a second social card, and she was double dipping with funds from Social Security. One from the parents that foster care that adopt her, and the other one from me. Even though she's no longer my child, I'll still support her with the money I had worked hard and taken out of my paycheck for Social Security. If you're a father or a mother over the age of 60, you get additional compensation from Social Security to take care of your young children. And so that is a nice thing that Social Security does. But what was sad, it was being abused. And I think that's wrong for it to be abused. I don't think that it's a nice thing to do when it's being abused like that. So, I don't know why my mouse is not working, but it was. Okay. There we go. I had my computer worked on and looked at it again. I was really happy with a Christmas wish. What had happened is that they said that my touchpad was so dirty, that's what was causing your problem. So I've got it to work now. I think so. I just need to adjust the settings more. But right now I can read everything and see everything on my screen. I don't have to have it so blown up. Now, I don't know what you like to talk about, Lou, tonight, but I'm open to anything. Now, there are 4 ways you can interact with this podcast. One is just being in this room, and that is great. One is just being in this room. I'm trying to adjust my... Oh, boy. Boy. So the first way is just be in this room. You can do emojis and you can send me stars, and you can also follow me or be notified when I'm on. The second way is to be to type me a comment. So when you're texting a message to me, just make sure that you show your first name and then either your city or county where your case was and the state. Now, if you're from another country, please show your province and your country. And again, I welcome everybody. Also, try to tell me much about your case. So when you come on, there's no ping pong ball where I have to guess back and forth what is going on here. Sorry for the adjustments here. Boy. There, that seems to be about right. Okay. So that's a second way. A third way is just to be our guest on the podcast. I've had a lot of you be our guest. And what you do is you will contact Grace, my show producer, and she'll gladly put you on. She'll put you on, send you the link. I'm broadcasting on YouTube. I'm using the StreamYard application. And then she'll tell you what to do and your settings and so forth, what not to do too. So she'll help you be a guest. And her email is grace@vincentwdavis.com. grace@vincentwdavis.com. And that's where you email her to be a guest on my podcast. Now, the last way you interact with my podcast is to call my number. My number's up now. Please call me, Bob Pace, at 626-698-0990. And that number will take you to my phone. I use Vonage for my phone calls, and it will ring. It will ring. Also, I have another number on the screen, 888-888-6582. That's the number to the law offices of Vincent W. Davis Associates. If you want to book them or retain them, you can call that office, speak to the staff that answers the phone, tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And then when you do speak to Mr. Davis, tell them that Bob Pace sent you. And there you can, have a conference with him to talk about his retainer and how he can defend you. Also, if you need other attorneys like immigration law or workplace law or real estate law, criminal law, divorce law, etc., you can call that same number there. And he has lots of attorneys that work for him. So that is really, really good. Now, I'll leave my phone number up there. There's a ticket right on the bottom of my screen. That ticket is for you to get 30 minutes with Mr. Davis for only $60. It's a discount I've worked out with him. So he'll talk to you for a half an hour for $60. And he'll talk about your case and tell you how to navigate and so forth. Now, there's another way you get a free 15-minute with Mr. Davis, and that's if you are a guest on my podcast or you call in on the phone. If you call in on the phone or a guest on my podcast, you get a free 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis. All I need from you is yes, if you want it, I'll ask you, and then you'll send me your first name, your email, and your phone number, and then we'll schedule it for you. We will schedule it for you. Now, I have a question that came up here. Let's see who it's from. Lou says, my friend that I'm helping couldn't even wish her daughter Merry Christmas. It was pretty upsetting. I can imagine. What Lou is doing, he's helping out a girl that I guess tested positive for drugs, and they took away her child, and her drugs were prescribed, and it was a mix-up. And so what Lou's done is he's trying to help out this friend, and I'm so sorry that she can't, wish her daughter Merry Christmas. This is really wrong. I hate to say it, but CPS is bad. It is so bad. They're not a good organization to get help with. they're not transparent. They're very deceitful, and they make a lot of money. They make a lot of money. So I want you to know that that it's not a very good place to have your child or yourself be in there because you'd be taken advantage of. They're very corrupt. They lie and everything there. And thank you, Lou, for the clapping hands. I appreciate that. Clapping hands should be you because you're trying to help out a friend. Lou is helping out a friend in Pennsylvania. So anyway, Lou asked a question. As you can see, I answer it. I'm not an attorney, but I'm a family man. I have 42 years of marriage, and I have 6 children that I raised, 3 olders, 3 youngers, 1 in their 40s. I have 2 in the 30s, and 2 in the 20s, and 1 in the teens. So it's 19, 22, 25, 30, I want to say 34, and then 38 and 47. That's quite a range there. But that's my family. I used to be a family of 8. This last Thanksgiving, it became a family of 2. This Christmas is going to be a family of 3. One of my younger sons is flying back to be with the same people that destroyed my home, took away my home, everything. You see, I had a layperson call in that used CPS for their own motive gain there. They'd make up stories, and then they'd investigate me because you're guilty until you're proven innocent. And on top of that, they have so many stops along the way, they never get to your case, and you end up, your kids are taken into child protection services. And that's not where they need to belong. That's not where they need to belong. Right now, studies have shown that parents are the best parents. The biological parents are the best parents for our kids. The biological parents. If all possible, then they should be with the biological parents and so forth. And I'm really sorry about how that is, but it's good that we have people that want to help also. Don't be discouraged. I know you'll hear a lot of no's and taken advantage of, but there is hope. There is hope. And I still want to talk about that. Now, Lou said some other things. I need to catch up with him. He says he's trying to get my friend to call in, but I think she went to sleep. That's okay. It's Christmas Eve, and she's without her daughter, and it's really hard. I know that, Lou. And I feel for you. I pray for both of you. Because CPS is a nightmare. If you haven't guessed it now, not only has my CPS worker corrupt, but also were the 8 ladies from Prescott, Arizona. And these 8 ladies decided to make T-shirts. They were pink in color and the white stenciled on the front, professional child kidnappers. On the back, they said, parents, do you know where your children are? And so this is really sad because that's the attitude of social workers. And that is wrong. That is wrong. Well, hope another day she can be on here, Lou. I'd love to welcome her and she can tell about her story and how we can maybe help her. How we can maybe help her. So anyway, these 8 ladies from Prescott, Arizona were fired, as well as the director of CPS. But that didn't help the department because I left only one person to do everything. It's too much for one person. Also, we got to be careful. We don't want to hurt the department either. And so we kind of need to move in a positive fashion and get through this. So that sounds really good there. So it is a hard thing to work through CPS. I still find it hard. I've been fighting it for 15 years, and I was in the case in 2010 for 5 years. I was wrongly accused by my in-laws, and then after that, I've been fighting another 10 years with my in-laws about how to get them feeling better and how they can get CPS resolved. It's really hard. It really is hard. See what we got here, Lou. Lou says, let me pull it up so I can see that. Thank you, Lou. Absolutely 100%. Absolutely 100% there. Now, we're perfectly welcome to call in. My phone number is up there. I love to have people talk. One thing to remember, if you talk on my podcast by phone or you're a guest on my podcast and talk, you'll get entitled to a free 15-minute session with Mr. Davis in private Zoom meeting. So you want to think about that if you haven't done it already. It's really a good thing, and it's well worth the time you spend with him. He has so much wealth of information. Okay, Lou, you got another one up there. I'm glad to hear you. Lou says, I'm convinced her to go to court once we get a negative from her hospital test. And I'm filing an emergency custody hearing via brief and asking for communication before a said hearing. That is good. Now, it's very important you subpoena the doctor that says that she had a negative reading on her drugs in her system. It's very important that we have that person that made that there to support this report, because it's hearsay if they're not. So it's really important to subpoena witnesses of what you're trying to do there, Lou. Okay. I talked a little bit briefly about rule number 1, which was about hiring an attorney. And you really should get one, because if you're thinking about using a court-appointed attorney or the public defender, you're going to find out that individual doesn't have the training in a dependency court. It's like they know about legal matters, and they're brand new, so they're very low pay, and they're paid by social service. So I wouldn't trust them too much to take care of our children. So what you do is always think what's best for the children. Children first. It's a hard thing to do, but it's always important there. So, using a court-appointed attorney, they're hoping, the CPS hopes that you do. They hope that your children use one, and then they go into foster care. Then they go ahead. It's a money-making business. They make millions of dollars every year. Now, you should try to get 3 quotes on attorneys. There are 2 important questions you should ask. One, are they a defense, juvenile, family attorney and has gotten kids back that are taken away? And 2, have they ever sued the CPS for a civil lawsuit? If the answer is yes to both those questions, I think you have the right lineage. I know you have the right there. So, okay. But anything you'll find with CPS, it takes time. My case was terrible because it started off 5 years of false allegations by a layperson, which was my in-laws, my wife's mother, father, 3 sisters, and a brother. They were constantly harassing us. They never were supportive of us. Now, my next rule coming up is about documents. And I'm really bad with documents, but you should try to organize your documents. Get that notebook put together, 3 inches thick, put some dividers in it, like 20 subject dividers, and fill it full of notebook paper and write it. It's best. I've tried to do it electronically on my day runner. And, it's the best spot is to put it on a paper that you can comfortably write on it. And one of the most important documents that you're going to have in your notebook is something called incidents. There are so many incidents that take place by the police, by the social worker, by the school. There's all the time. They're constantly there, and you want to keep up with it because it gets harder as you get older and older to see which one's the right case. So that's why it's important to make that. And the incident log first line should be the date, the time, and who was involved. The second line is a summary of what happened. What was the incident about? The third line was the outcome of the incident. You should do that for every one of those cases. And something you don't have to stare at all the time. You don't have to stare at all the time. Now, I have rule number 3, which is you say no to social workers, no to police. Don't let them in your home. Don't let anyone in your home. Don't answer the door. Too many innocent people are being killed by policemen when they answer the door. Also, they're being hurt. Let's see. Let me check Lou and see what he wrote there. Hopefully, I missed his expression. Let me put it up there on the screen so I can see it. I agree, Lou. It should hopefully end this quickly because we can prove negligence against her caseworker. Well, that's a good lawsuit. That's a real good lawsuit. I'm doing my podcast from home, and I'm sorry if the background sound is coming in, but it's really hard when you have family here. So anyway, it's Christmas Eve. I'm glad that. It's kind of a slow night, Lou. I'm just seems like it's just you and I and my family tonight. There are about 10 listeners out there. I see you all. Thank you for joining my podcast. We were talking about the notebook, rule number 2. Now, rule number 3 is you do not talk to social workers. You don't let them in your home, and you certainly don't let them take your children. They have a bad habit of invading your home, and then they'll find things you don't want them to see yet. You know, you need your attorney present. A good way to avoid the social workers if you encounter them is tell them, be cordial to them, but tell them you need to have your attorney present to discuss where the issue is about. So that's important that you try to stall that time off as best as you can. And the only way they get in the home is if you give them permission or one of your family members give permission. And that's usually a no-no because people have been killed that way. A lot of people have been killed that way. Now, another way you can get back on is to this rule number 3, also includes medical trafficking. If you need to take your children into the hospital or urgent care, there are social workers that work there and they'll hear something and then all of a sudden they want to take your child. You got to be careful. They're there. You do not allow them without a warrant. There's only 3 ways they can grab a child from you. 1, you give them permission. 2, they're in a domestic violence dispute and they're being harmed. The social worker, police can interject. And then 3 is a warrant. And a warrant's got to be issued by a court. And why they check the validity of the warrant is where it was gotten and when it was placed. Because a lot of times they use the wrong address. So it's really important there because you don't want to lose your money that way. Yeah, I know it's late, Lou, and I'm sorry. I'm a little bit tired myself. It's over 11 here, but wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas and keep you posted. I'm glad you do, Lou. You're part of my family, and I'm so glad I met you. And God bless you, and I hope Santa Claus brings you everything you want, and that tonight is the birth of our child, Jesus Christ. So I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you then tomorrow because I'll be on Christmas Day, bright and early at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then again on at 7 o'clock at night. So I'm on all the time, you guys. Lori, oh, Merry Christmas, Lori. I'm so glad to see you. Lori's been with me from the very beginning. Over a year ago, she just comes on, says her name, Lori, and sometimes she talks about other people, but she has never talked on the podcast. But she's been dedicated here, and I'm so glad you're here, Lori. Merry Christmas and God bless you. This is nice to hear from you. I know most people it's 3 hours ahead and they're getting ready for Christmas Eve and stuff. So I know it's kind of hard here, but thank you, Lori, for being in my room. Okay, it looks like we have about a half hour left, or about 10 minutes left. I have 7:49, so it's almost 8. So it's about 10 minutes left. And thank you for the thumbs up. Let me see who gave me the thumbs up. Lori, thank you, Lori. You're sweet. Thank you very much, Lori. That's awful sweet of you. Well, we're talking about rule number 3 about not talking to social workers, not let them take your child in your home unless they have a warrant. A warrant's very careful. It's got to be a prescribed document. It's got to be a wet signature ink from the judge. And it's got to have an embossed seal. It's got to be raised with the signature of the judge's in that embossed seal. And so it's really important that we see the right kind of paper because they could have wrong language on it, wrong address, wrong people and everything. It's supposed to be generic. It's supposed to be for you and your case, not to be used over and over by other people. I hope one day Lori will come on the show and talk. It'd be nice to hear from her. I think she's my longest running one. Also, there is Faye. Let's give Faye a call. She had double pneumonia, and worry about her. Who Faye is? Faye is a very sweet lady. She's a single mom, and she had a hard time in foster care. She's in and out 5 times up through her teenage years. And she was molested and raped and sex trafficked and everything else. But she had 2 kids, and one of her kids was stolen by her mom. And her other one, she has special needs kids, so he needs to take care of that. But anyway, she's from Newport Beach. She's from Richmond, Kentucky. I don't know why I got Newport Beach involved in there. Let me see here. Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Yes, hello. You have reached my voicemail. I'm unavailable.
Well, looks like Faye's still got a double case of pneumonia. She's not answering there. Well, we got about 5 minutes left of the podcast here, and I have my clock already down here. Let me see if I can reach her on the Facebook Messenger. Yep, they're there. I got them for you. They're $40.
Hot flash candies. Thank you. Hot flash candies. This is what you get when you're my age. It's exciting to be this level.
Well, we'll see if Faye answers there.
Yeah, let's see. It might have scared me.
She was in the hospital, so that was a problem.
Well, that's a problem, Robin. You scared her so much she went into the hospital?
No, she had double case of pneumonia.
That's not good. She could die.
Yep.
You're not praying about this? You're talking about it?
Well, Faye, Merry Christmas to you, Christmas Eve. And I tried to call you for the show. My show people are saying prayers to you, Faye. So maybe you'll be on my show tomorrow. God bless you and your son and all your animals. Okay. Now, I just talked about my rule number 3. Rule number 4 is about going to the internet and making your question the right way. It's very important to make your questions in there. Excuse me 1 second, please, audience. Thank you. All right, I'm back again. Again, I apologize. I do this from home, and I have silly people at home. But anyway, my rule number 4 is to make copies of all your important documents, like your birth certificate, your child's birth certificate, your marriage certificate, your driver's license, your children's grade reports, the medical shot records, any special medical treatment, those kinds of things. You want to make copies and put in an envelope or a folder so you have them ready with your notebook. It's really important that you have those. You make copies, but it's important you have documents. And then lastly is, well, that's what I'm saying. 5 is the documents. 4 is you call on the internet. Now, on the internet, it's very important you put the city, comma, the state, and if the city's small like Athens, Georgia, you put Athens, comma, Atlanta, Georgia, and then you put the letter CPS, and you'd be surprised what shows up. Also, you can be more specific after CPS and put like you want to see the handbook for that particular city on CPS, or you want to talk about the 388 motion, or the 160 hearing, or the ICWA, the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1978. There's so much on the internet you can find out about your case. So that's rule 4. 5 is your copies of everything you put in a folder and an envelope. But, I really want to thank you all for being with me on Christmas Eve. I know it's lonely for a lot of you that won't be with your children. I'm really sad. I feel for you. My best goes out to all my family out there in all the different countries and all the different states, all 50 states, including Washington, D.C. So Merry Christmas Eve to you all. And please don't stop. Keep fighting for your children. There'll be a brief message from Mr. Davis at the end of this podcast. And I'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock is Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast of California. And this is...
Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Okay, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening, everyone. This is a question and answer session for school, SKOOL, and this is the CPS school.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Join our school community for free to access weekly live Q&A sessions, or participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.